Hey, stop what you're doing right now, because what I'm about to share with you could be the difference between watching your grandchildren grow up from the garden or watching them from a hospital bed. If you are over 60 and the weight around your middle has stopped responding to anything you try, this is not your fault, and it has nothing to do with willpower. There is something happening inside your belly after age 60 that your doctor likely has never explained to you, not because they do not care, but because it does not come in a pill bottle, and it does not fit inside a 15-minute appointment. The old ones knew, my grandmother knew, and modern science is finally catching up to what our people understood generations ago. Stay with me, because number one on this list is a drink my grandmother made every single morning, and what it does to stubborn fat will surprise you. My name is Mary Littlebear. I'm a Cherokee Nation elder from eastern Oklahoma, and for over 60 years I have tended to the folks in my community through plant medicine, traditional foods, and the old ways my grandmother and great-grandmother passed down across 7 generations. My grandfather used to sit me on the porch and say the same thing every morning. "Child, all disease begins in the belly." I did not understand him then. I do now. After age 50, your gut is the master regulator of nearly every system in your body. Your hormones, your metabolism, your sleep, even the fat you carry. Researchers at Harvard have confirmed what my grandmother already knew. A study out of Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, published in 2022, followed over 12,000 adults for 16 years. What they found was this: folks with a healthy, diverse gut microbiome had a 61% lower risk of metabolic disease, including the stubborn belly fat that settles in after 60. 61%. That is not a supplement. That is not a prescription. That is the quiet bacteria living inside you, doing the work my grandmother taught me about when I was still in pigtails. 61%. Let me say it again, because folks rush past numbers like that. Now, I am going to count down 5 truths about fat after 60 that most folks get completely wrong. Number 5 will change how you think about dinner. Number 3 is where we talk about something my folks ask me about more than almost anything else. And number 1 is the morning drink my grandmother made before the sun came up. Chia seeds soaked overnight with 2 simple things added. 90% of folks over 60 are doing this wrong, if they are doing it at all. The order matters. Each truth builds on the last. Stay with me to the end. Before we begin, do me a kindness. Drop your age in the comments below and tell me one thing. What is the one food or habit you have tried for weight that never worked for you? I read every single comment on this channel, everyone, and what you share shapes what we cover next. Number 5 is eating your biggest meal too late in the day. Folks dismiss this as old advice, but science has caught up in a serious way. Here is what happens inside the body after 60. Your circadian rhythm, which is the internal clock that tells every cell when to work and when to rest, becomes weaker. Think of it like a security guard who used to stand tall at the gate. After 60, that guard sits down. When you eat a heavy meal after 7 at night, your body cannot process the sugars and fats the way it did at 40. They get stored instead of burned. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego studied over 2,000 adults and found that finishing your last meal before 6 in the evening reduced belly fat by 32% in just 12 weeks. I had a neighbor, Dorothy, 72 years old, a retired school teacher from Tulsa, Oklahoma. She came to me worn out, carrying 25 extra pounds she could not shake. What was overlooked was simple. She was eating supper at 9 at night. We moved her last meal to 5:30. Within 8 weeks, she had dropped 11 pounds, and her blood sugar numbers came back to normal. She told me, "Mary, I feel like I got my body back." The practical fix: eat your largest meal at midday like the old ones did. Finish eating by 6 if you can. Pair this with a 10-minute walk after supper. A Cleveland Clinic study showed that short walk reduces blood sugar spikes by 27%. But this next one is where many folks get blindsided. Number 4 is not eating enough protein at breakfast. I know some of you are thinking, "Mary, I eat oatmeal every morning. That is healthy." And it is, neighbor. But here is the aging-specific reality. After 60, your body loses muscle at a rate of about 3% per year. Muscle is the furnace that burns fat. When you lose muscle, your metabolism drops and the weight creeps on even though you're eating the same way you always have. Protein is the stone that holds that furnace together. A study from McMaster University followed over 1,000 adults over 65 for 7 years. Those who ate at least 30 grams of protein at breakfast preserved 43% more muscle than those who did not. 43%. I had a neighbor, Harold, 68 years old, a retired mechanic from Springfield, Missouri. He came to me frustrated, walking 3 times a week, still soft around the middle. His breakfast was a bagel and coffee. We changed one thing: 3 eggs, a handful of walnuts, and a small piece of fish left over from the night before. Within 6 weeks, his waist was 2 inches smaller, and he told me, "I have not felt this steady in a decade." The practical fix: aim for 30 grams of protein at breakfast: eggs, fish, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt. Pair your protein with a tablespoon of chia or flax. The fiber slows digestion and feeds your gut bacteria, which is where number 3 takes us. Number 3 is the probiotic problem, and I have to be honest with you here, because this is where most supplements fail the folks I care for. After age 65, the gut loses roughly 70% of its beneficial bacteria. 70%. Your gut is the master regulator my grandfather spoke about. It controls inflammation, hormone balance, how much fat you store, even the sleep hormone melatonin. And here is what most folks miss. A probiotic alone will not fix it. A probiotic without prebiotic fiber to feed it, and without postbiotics, which are the healing compounds the bacteria actually produce, is like planting seeds in dead soil. You need all 3 working together: prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. I want to pause here because my folks always ask what I actually recommend. There is one formula I have landed on. It is called budge. It combines all 3, prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics, in a daily kombucha gummy, not a pill, which I appreciate because so many folks my age struggle with capsules. It has 2 clinically studied strains, lactospore and postbiotics LM1004, plus dandelion root and slippery elm, which my grandfather used for digestion back in the mountains. Over 30,000 folks are already using it. I will leave the link in the description below. And please speak to your doctor first before starting anything new. Now let me get back to it, because number 2 is the hidden reason so many folks cannot lose the belly no matter what they eat. Number 2 is chronic stress and the belly fat that comes with it. Folks hear the word stress and dismiss it because everyone has stress. But here is the science. When you are stressed, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is like a garbage truck that shows up to clean the streets. In small doses, it is necessary. But when that truck is running 24 hours a day, it starts dumping waste right in the middle of town. That waste is belly fat. A study from Yale, published in the journal Psychosomatic Medicine, followed almost 1,600 women and found that those with chronically high cortisol had 46% more visceral fat, the dangerous fat around the organs. I had a neighbor, Eleanor, 74 years old, a retired nurse from Asheville, North Carolina. She had lost her husband 2 years before, and the weight around her middle would not move no matter what she ate. What was overlooked was her nervous system. She was in a low-grade state of grief stress all day long. We did not change her food first. We changed her mornings. 10 minutes sitting quietly with her coffee on the back porch, listening to the birds. 5 minutes of slow breathing before bed. Within 3 months, she had lost 9 pounds, and she told me, "Mary, I finally feel like myself again." The practical fix: get morning sunlight for at least 15 minutes before 9. This resets cortisol. Pair it with slow breathing, 4 counts in, 6 counts out before bed. A Harvard Medical School study showed this simple practice lowered cortisol by 23% in 8 weeks. And now we arrive at number 1. Number 1, the single most important habit, the morning drink my grandmother made before the sun came up, every single day of her long life. She lived to 93, carried water from the well until she was 86, and never once had a belly that spilled over her apron. Her recipe was 3 ingredients: chia seeds soaked overnight with 2 things added: raw apple cider vinegar with the mother still in it, and Ceylon cinnamon. That is all. Here is the mechanism, because this matters. Chia seeds, when soaked for 8 hours, swell into a gel that acts like a quality control inspector in your digestive tract. They slow the release of sugar into the bloodstream, they feed your gut bacteria, and they deliver omega-3 fats that reduce inflammation in the belly. Apple cider vinegar does something remarkable. A study from Arizona State University found that 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar before a meal lowered post-meal blood sugar by 34%. And Ceylon cinnamon, the real kind, not the grocery store cassia, has been shown in a Johns Hopkins review to improve insulin sensitivity by 29%. Insulin is the hormone that tells your body to store fat. When insulin works properly, the fat comes off naturally. I had a neighbor, Margaret, 76 years old, a retired librarian from Chattanooga, Tennessee. She came to me having tried every diet in the magazines, and nothing worked. We started her on the morning drink, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds soaked in a cup of water overnight. In the morning, she stirred in 1 tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar and a 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. She drank it 20 minutes before breakfast. Within 4 months, she had lost 22 pounds, her fasting blood sugar dropped from 110 to 89, and she told me with tears in her eyes, "Mary, I can bend down and tie my own shoes again. I can play on the floor with my great-grandbabies." The protocol is this. The night before, put 1 tablespoon of chia seeds in a cup of filtered water. Cover it and leave it on the counter. In the morning, stir in 1 tablespoon of raw apple cider vinegar with the mother and 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon. Drink it 20 minutes before breakfast. Do this every morning for at least 90 days before you judge it. And please, if you are on blood sugar medication, speak to your doctor first, because this drink is strong enough that your medication may need adjusting. Let me bring this home for you, neighbor. This is about your life. The mornings in the garden, the grandchildren who want you at their graduation, the spouse who still reaches for your hand in the dark, the independence to walk to your own kitchen and pour your own coffee at 85 years old. It is never too late. I have seen folks at 70, 75, 80 begin these simple changes and watch their bodies come back to them. Your body wants to heal. It has been waiting for you to listen to it. You are the driver of this, not a passenger. The old ones knew, and now you know. Carry this forward. If this served you today, subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. And please share this with someone you love, a spouse, a sister, a dear friend who is quietly struggling with their weight and does not know where to turn. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 truths are you starting first? I read every single comment. And if you want the BudgeBod formula I mentioned earlier, the link is waiting for you in the description below. Take care of yourself, neighbor. I will see you in the next one.